Hey guys, this is your tutorial for Monday, December 7th. Make sure you click the attendance link so that you can get credit for doing the lesson even if you weren't in the live session. Your reminders for today, there's a couple. Your produce vocabulary is due on the 14th. That is, in fact, a Monday. So a week from today, your produce vocab will be due. There are a couple of more words on this list than you're used to, so make sure you get started on it. Today we're going to do some interactive slides in the slide presentation where you're going to be matching information about produce, doing some questions, and stuff like that. So that needs to be completed and done by the end of the day today. Make sure you're studying for your produce quiz. You know, anytime you have vocab due, you're probably going to have an assessment that day as well. So on Monday the 14th will be your quiz on the 4 different produce. And just as a reminder, cohort 1 and some virtual kids did a little bit of map testing today. So you guys will finish up map testing tomorrow morning from 8 to 10. Okay? All right, so under the classwork tab in Google Classroom, you will see something labeled Produce Interactive Slides, okay? So in these Produce Interactive Slides, I'll go ahead and pull my copy up so you guys can see exactly what it looks like. When you click on your copy, it'll be this presentation right here on produce. And as you go through, there are different things you need to do. So in this first section, this is all about background information. So it talks about from the beginning, once microscopes were created, they started using them to look inside of different organisms, and they were able to see the different organelles within a cell. They talk about the difference between eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells, which just means if the organism or the cell has a nucleus, then it's eukaryotic, but if it doesn't have a nucleus, it's prokaryotic. Okay, so protists, which are what we're learning about right now, are super simple organisms that are typically only made up of one cell. All right, so the majority of them have a nucleus, so protists are considered eukaryotic. Some of them live in water, lakes, rivers, streams, ponds, ditches, puddles, any place where there's water, essentially protists can be found. And then if you keep reading, it talks about the different characteristics of protists. Now, after you read that, you need to look at the 4 descriptions below of the 4 protists and match them with the picture. You'll type the name of the protist in the text box. So for example, this first description says the euglena has a whip-like structure to help it move in the water. So this guy right here has to be my euglena because it has this little whip-like tail that moves it around in the water. So in this little box right here where it says type here, I would type euglena. And then you read the other 3 descriptions and figure out which protist belongs to that description. Next, it gives you a little brief description of an amoeba and how it moves and how it eats and all that stuff. Based off of this description up here and looking at this picture here, you'll need to type what structure the amoeba uses to move and what structure it uses to get food. The next thing is the same concept, just an information about euglena. You write what structure the euglena uses to move and what they do to make food. Then your paramecium, how it moves, how it gets its food. And then the volvox, how it moves and how it gets its food. Okay, all the information is in the reading. So based off of those readings, you're going to choose the best answer to the following questions. You're going to drag the little colored circle to the correct answer. So the first question says, what does a nucleus do? You'll grab this blue dot and you'll cover over whichever answer you think is correct about the nucleus. The following questions are all the same. You're just dragging the dot over the correct answer. All right. This question is a free response question. How does a paramecium eat versus how a human eats? So you're comparing how the 2 different organisms eat. How does a euglena and volvox sense light compared to how humans sense light? So what do they use versus what we use? Next it says a cut and paste activity. So you'll be clicking on the pictures and pressing cut or copy. And then on the next couple of slides, you're going to paste them in based off of the description that it gives you. So for example, here it shows you a picture of a pseudopod, which is a false foot. An amoeba is the specific organism that has pseudopods. So you'll go over here, you'll find where it says amoeba right here. It's considered an amoeboid. So you would click on this and press copy, and then you would paste it down here in this little box. And then up here is where you're finding the description of a pseudopod or a false foot. So when you read these descriptions, one of these is going to accurately talk about a pseudopod and an amoeba. And it's going to be this one right here. Uses temporary extensions of its cytoplasm called a pseudopod to move. The pseudopod can be used to surround and engulf the food, forming a vacuole, which eventually is going to digest the food. So you would take this answer right here, copy it or Control-C, and then paste it here or press Control-V and that pastes it. Okay, so you're doing that for these 4 different pictures. There's the one with the flagella and the eye spot, cilia, and there's your other organism. I don't want to give you the answer though. All right, so now it says use the diagram to help you answer the questions on the next page. So you'll look at the picture, you'll look at all the different little organelles that are labeled here. You have your contractile vacuole, and it tells you that it gets rid of water and waste. It shows food getting engulfed by these pseudopods, right? And then you have your cell membrane, which is the outer barrier. You have your nucleus, your food vacuole, which digests the food, and then the cytoplasm, which is all the little gel on the inside. So here you're going to drag the arrow to the correct answer choice. So the first question, what engulfs the food? So you'll go back, look at the slide. Is it the cytoplasm, the pseudopods, the vacuoles, or the nucleus that engulf the food? You'll drag your arrow over to whatever you think the answer is. And then the second one, what digests the food? You'll grab the second arrow, drag it over to whatever you think the answer is. Now a little bit of vocab practice. Drag the arrow from the vocab word column to the correct definition, and you'll do this for the next 3 pages. So this page goes over the vocab words flagella, chloroplast, and protus. You'll grab and resize these and move them around to point to the correct definition. Same for the eye spot, pseudopods, and cilia, and the contractile vacuole, autotroph, food vacuole, and heterotroph. So here you have 4 arrows because you're matching 4 different words with their definitions. Okay? Now, who has what? You're going to see a little circle on the next slide, and you're going to drag it over the name of the protus that the statement applies to. You may have more than one protus circled, so this isn't just going to be a one answer. Some of them may have more than one answer. So here, I have a flagella to help me move. So you're dragging this circle to the name of the protus it applies to. Well, we know that the euglena has a protus, or has a flagella, but we also know that the volvox has 2 flagellas. So you would drag the circle over euglena and volvox, because both of those answers would be correct. The next one, contractile vacuole, helping remove excess water. You drag the circle over whichever ones that applies to. Pseudopods, drag it to which protus it applies to. Cilia, and an eye spot to detect light. And then which ones are autotrophs and which ones are heterotrophs. Okay, so that is the end of the activity for today. Once you complete these slides, you need to make sure you turn them in Google Classroom. And if you have any questions, make sure you ask your teachers. Thanks.